Okay, hey, what's up, everybody? This is J Rock right here, dropping a movie review today with my guest Leo. We're gonna be talking a little bit about Godzilla versus King Kong. Walk through the movie with you guys with some of the scenes, and then just talk about how we felt about the movie in general. That sounds good to you guys. Feel free to post your comments in the comment section down below as we talk about this a little. So, how was your day?
Well, today over here in Oregon, it's hot. It's like 80,
Same here.
like
Same here
80
Same here in
degrees.
California. We're
It was
about
pretty hot yesterday too, but
Yeah, we're about. I think we were 97 here yesterday, and we're about.
97. Yeah, that's hot. Did you guys have that earthquake?
Yeah, that you hear it, that you feel it in the morning. Man, that thing was strong.
Hey,
It was freaking like everything shook, like cups fell right here at the house.
wow, that's crazy. And I
Yeah,
heard it wasn't high magnitude either.
but I don't know. Probably 'cause I live upstairs, like in the fourth floor. So the higher up you are,
Yeah,
like it moves more. Yeah, I felt like, and then I had just
right.
finished watching that Godzilla movie last night. So I was like, damn, it's like the whole Godzilla thing going down right here.
Damn.
All right, so
Yeah,
we'll
that's
start.
not good.
Yeah. All right, let's start with the movie here.
All right.
So here we got the scene. In the beginning of the movie, Godzilla, he's rolling through the ocean, right? So he's rolling through the ocean and he's just destroying all kinds of shit. And it turns out, we don't know why, but something riled him up. And he's coming off as clearly as the villain in the movie. He's coming off destroying buildings and everything. He's like the bad guy. And I like that whole thing they do where he's running through the water and it's like Jaws, like you see his fins, like a shark. What you think about all that?
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, it was almost like Jaws. That whole episode. They did a good job on it.
Yeah,
He
I thought
came
that shit
quick
looked pretty.
too.
Yeah, that shit looked pretty cool. Then there's a lot of neon fluorescent lights going on, kind of like it was very reminiscent of
Yeah,
Pacific Rim, where there's the whole ocean, where the monsters come out of the ocean, the kaiju, and there's a lot of like fluorescent lights.
right.
That's how it was every time Godzilla was around, like so that he could stand out from the water because he's like glowing.
Yeah, he was hella glowing. They
Yeah,
make those colors bright on there too.
yeah. And it turned out that the what's getting Godzilla pissed off is this company called the Apex Technology Company. So I wasn't, I don't know, I couldn't
Yeah,
really remember.
Apex.
Yeah, Apex, that you see what it is. They did something to piss off Godzilla because they want to bring him out, right? So I'm not sure what they did though. I don't know if
Yeah,
it was clear. Well,
yeah. I think what it was is that he was able to sense uh the drama that was gonna go down. You know,
no, I think they said
that's what
that.
I think.
Yeah, but I think they said something about the Hollow Earth. You know that place where the gravity is different. That place has these energy
Right.
cubes, and that's how Godzilla charges up. I think. So they needed the energy either from Godzilla or from this Hollow Earth, and they feel he knows
Yeah.
where to find it, right? They're like Godzilla knows where to find it, so they want him to come back out
Right.
because they want this technology, right? These energy cubes or whatever. Yeah, so
That's true. Yeah, that's what they wanted. I
and it
think the
turns
one from the Hollow Earth. I think the one from the Hollow Earth was stronger.
the energy cubes from there.
And I yeah.
Now they also said they had King Kong. He was in this dome, like this imaginary forest, but it wasn't a jungle or forest or anything. It was just digital, right? Like a green screen, making him think he's in this country, in this
It was digital.
yeah. And he
Yeah.
noticed like a crack in the sky. And he noticed the sky wasn't real. He breaks it or whatever. That was a trip because I guess you have to watch the other movies because I saw Skull Island, but I didn't watch the Godzilla one because some of the characters, the actors from the other movies come out on this one.
Yeah,
They
I didn't
somehow
watch that one
connect.
either.
Yeah, they somehow connect. So I think you get more out of it if you watch those. I didn't watch them either. More than 10 years, but for this girl, Rebecca Hall, the actress, what's the character that she plays in the movie? She plays Eileen.
I didn't,
She plays Eileen, her and the little mute girl. they've
Yeah.
been kind of taking care of King Kong and following his movements and so forth, studying him for 10 years. So that means he's been trapped in there longer than 10 years, right? And you can see
Right.
from Skull Island, this is a old beat up Kong. He's fatter, his waist is wider, his hips are wider, he has a great beard. This isn't King Kong in his prime, like in Skull Island, he's like in his 20s. This King Kong is
Yeah,
like,
we already had a bow tie and everything.
yeah, and this one, Kong is past his prime. He's like in his 50s and in shape in his 20s, like think Shaq with the Lakers and then Shaq with like the Boston Celtics when he's already old, out of shape, past his prime, where the guys that he used to run over are now kind of bullying him and stuff. When you watch them in the NBA, you're like, oh, that's kind of sad. Like guys he used to destroy are now in their prime and now he's old, so now they're like just pushing him around. That's how Kong felt here. Like he would just destroy people, and now that he's old past his prime, like he didn't put up as much of a fight. So they put him in shackles and so forth, and they're sending them to Hollow Earth. They want to find out where Hollow Earth is. So these humans, these soldiers, and these scientists, they want to find out where Hollow Earth is at, and so does the Apex Company, right? For probably two
Right.
different reasons, but they both want the same thing. Like one's trying to find that place through Kong, and the other company is trying to find it through Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Yeah, see here you see Kong all worn out, defeated on this ship, and he felt very like old past his prime, and like they like felt like they depowered King Kong a lot here. Like it felt
Yeah,
like
they did.
yeah. So see,
They
there's the
were
people
treating
here.
him
This is
pretty well.
Rebecca and the mute girl and this sergeant named what's this guy named Dr. Nathan. So he's telling them how they're
Yeah,
gonna find
Dr.
Hollow
Meat.
Earth and so forth. And the girl and Rebecca, they're clearly not fans of him. They kind of don't like him because they like Kong. They've been studying him for so long, and he kind of, for the most part, Kong leaves people alone, and the humans are the ones messing with him, right?
Right.
So he's kind of comes off as more sympathetic and more like you root for him. He's like the good guy, kind of like your Frankenstein, if you will, and the humans are kind of like the ones just don't leave him alone. They're messing with him. So these two characters, the little girl and Eileen, they're not fans of these guys. You see them here, they're like just not impressed with them.
Yeah. Well, there was that one scene that I was able to catch on to because I did watch King Kong, the original King Kong. And I don't know if you remember this part where remember how he was in love with that one girl.
Yeah, back in the old school one.
And, yeah, in the old school one, and you know how on this movie they didn't know that he knew sign language, and on the first movie, that's how he communicated with that girl that he was in love with.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that, but yeah, I know there's that thing about how they were using the little girl to communicate with him, kind of like yeah, in the original one, the one actress is the only one that could communicate with him.
Yeah, because she did the exact same thing with the whole finger touching like ET, you know.
Yeah, it seems
And,
they do that a lot in movies where they use little kids to be like the only one that can communicate with the monster. And I guess they don't see the
right,
kids as a threat, but they see the adults as a threat, so they don't even want to bother trying to talk to them. And the humans are the same; don't even want to bother hearing out Kong.
right, 'cause-
And then here we have on this next
right,
scene.
and that was like
Uh-huh.
the biggest break to me right there. Like I knew I was already behind on movies. Uh
Yeah,
huh. I
and
don't know what this guy was all about.
yeah, the next scene we have Millie Bobby Brown. I love her in Stranger Things. You have you ever seen Stranger Things?
Not Stranger Things, no. You know what?
Oh,
I came across it. I think my girl watches it.
yeah, this girl here on the screenshot. She's one of the main characters for Stranger Things, and she's like a little girl in the first season, and now she's like a teenager. So I guess it turns out she came out in I guess
Okay.
she came out in a previous Godzilla movie, but she's talking to these soldiers about how Godzilla saved us and so forth. So I guess she came out in another Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
So
I
her
was saying
friend,
that.
yeah, she's telling her friend Josh, this his name is Josh in the movie. He came out on Deadpool Part 2. He's a funny actor. I like him. I think he's like English. So now they're like out to look for Godzilla. They're like, why is Godzilla doing all this? He's not a bad person. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he looks familiar. I seen him.
Yeah, so them two, they're trying to save Godzilla. Just like the girl Rebecca and the mute girl are trying to save Kong. They're for Kong, and these two are for Godzilla. And the Apex is trying to use Godzilla, and just like on the other side, the sergeants are trying to use the military's trying to use Kong, right? So they're trying to save Godzilla, and the girl says something about Godzilla uses bleach to shower in, like he needs it for his skin or
Right,
whatever. Because he has scaly skin, kind of
right,
like a he's kind of like an alligator. So she needs this so he needs this
right.
bleach or whatever, and they said we need to find a place where there's been consuming or buying lots of bleach, and then we'll find where Godzilla's at. So they go to this liquor
Yeah.
they go to
Oh, that's what
this
that was about.
yeah, so they go to this grocery store, and they're like, who's been buying bleach a lot? The guy says nobody around here buys bleach a lot, and then that guy Josh, he drops $100 bill. He drops that Cino. And then that guy at the store's like, oh, you mean bleach? Yeah, yeah, of course. Bernie, that crazy guy Bernie is always buying bleach. So we get introduced to Bernie right here.
Yeah,
This is Bernie. And I like his story here. He's talking about his wife died because of this Apex company, right? This
right,
technological company that builds, I guess, like weapons and stuff like that.
right.
So he has something against them, and he believes in all these conspiracies since his wife died, and these companies are doing conspiracies. So he has a podcast where he talks about all this, and he's been buying all this bleach. And these kids come aboard, and they tell him, man, they start talking about Godzilla. So now he's like, he's on board to go with them. They're like, we're gonna invade Apex because they're doing some shenanigans, right? And he's like, hell yeah, I'm with you guys. Take this company down because they're responsible for his wife's death. Now, this is your team that's like your ragtag, outside the norm type team, right? Because there's like 3 or 4 different teams in this movie as far as the humans. And his team is like, he's this crazy, weird guy that believes in conspiracies. And he's kind of funny because he's kind of crazy and out there. And the guy, Josh, he's funny because he's kind of sarcastic and smartass. And then the girl from Stranger Things, Madison is her name in the movie. So Madison, she's like the leader, kind of the brains of the operation. That was my favorite group between other groups. That was the one I was down with. I liked their scenes. They seemed like the
Yeah,
most.
but she also had a lot of she also had a lot of information though
Yeah, because I think
of
she
her
came out
dad.
on a. Yeah, I think she came out on a previous Godzilla movie. I would have to go back and watch it, but she said something about Godzilla saved them before. So I think she came on the other movie.
Yeah,
So yeah, she was the smart one, the one that had all the info. She was like the ringleader,
yeah,
basically.
because yeah, because her dad played a role, but I don't remember what her dad was doing. I don't know if he worked for Apex and or something, and he knew about this happening, but he couldn't control her or something.
Yeah, you're right. I
Told him,
think
"Hey, Godzilla protects us," you know.
yeah, I think you're right. I think he worked for the
So I don't know
Apex
if
company, but he wasn't like a bad guy. Like
right,
the main characters in that company are bad. I think he wasn't
right,
that bad. Now here on this scene, we got Rebecca and some of the soldiers, and this other girl talking to her. She's what's her name? Maya. Her name is Maya. She's the daughter of the main owner of this Apex company, the main guy. She's the daughter, so she's kind of like his right hand man. She's kind of like a bad guy,
right,
and she's here with the people that captured Kong. While the dad's following Godzilla, the daughter's following Kong. So they got their hands everywhere, right? Their fingerprints are everywhere. They're mainly the company that's responsible for all this shit going down. They're the clear like villains. It's not neither one of the monsters. They're just doing what's in their primal instincts. The real villain is this freaking garbage company, Apex. Always these companies that work with military and creating weapons, they're always shady. Oh, shady motherfuckers.
yeah. The daughter was kind of shady too. She had that attitude.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sure she was like that.
Yeah, she was like down with her dad's bullshit.
Yeah, hell yeah, exactly.
Because
Yeah,
when they try to oppose against it, she was like, "Oh no, 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 no! Well, I'm here for what my dad wants, and now that I'm here, I'm gonna get what my dad needs."
yeah, exactly. And here,
She was
while they got
standing on it
Kong,
like,
yeah, here you see Kong. They rock the boat, and you see Kong kind of falling off the ship, right? Like something hit the ship, something big, and they'll know what it is. You see Kong shackled up, and they're like, it has to be Godzilla. He's the only thing that would be that big. You see Kong here in shackles about to fall off the boat. They're like, Godzilla's gonna destroy us. And they go, we gotta let Kong
Yeah.
loose so he can at least protect us. And here you see Godzilla underwater, just he looks like a freaking great white shark right here.
Right.
That scene looked vicious.
Hey,
I was really digging it.
so what's the history?
Meant to be, he's meant to look very like Jaws like. Even the scenes here when he's swimming is very like the Jaws movies. And then the fins when they come out of the water. So here, yeah, he just tipped over the ship, and
Yeah.
you know our shit's about to break loose right now. Our shit's gonna go down. Look at it. I love this scene right here where the you see the King Kong and you see Godzilla.
Yeah, he like,
They-
bring it on, bring it on.
yeah,
Ready.
you know shit's gonna pop off. And you got Godzilla, he's out there, the
Yeah.
humans unshackled him because they know they need him to protect them. So you see clearly here he's gonna protect the humans. So he comes off as the clear good guy, and Godzilla comes off as the aggressor for sure, like no doubt. But Godzilla's big, much bigger than Kong, in his prime. Kong is smaller, old already past his prime, worn down. So even from the beginning, Godzilla's in his element of the water. It seems like it seems like all odds are against Godzilla right now, but he does seem like the good guy. Which in a movie, I feel like that's good. Like you want the main guy, you want the odds to be against him, so you could kind of root for him. Because you're like, oh,
Right.
the deck is stacked against him, so you root for him. They always do that in movies. The good guy always loses the first round and then comes back stronger and wins the second, right?
For sure. I think what was going on right here. I don't know. Like, remember how you were talking about Godzilla has something against that company Apex or Apex?
Yeah. In the beginning, they did something to him. That's what I'm saying that it
I,
wasn't clear to me what they did, but they did something to him to bring him back out from hiding because he has left humans alone for a long time. They brought him back out,
yeah,
and now he's pissed, taking it out on all humans.
yeah. Because on this part, I think when he's attacking those ships, he was destroying the ships,
Yeah,
and he was destroying also like almost everything that had to do with Apex.
yeah. He was destroying. He wasn't really after the
You
humans. You're
know,
right. He was more after Apex itself. You're right. It wasn't the humans. It was
right?
Apex he's after.
So I don't know. I don't know if King Kong was like at the wrong place, at the wrong time,
No. Apex brought King Kong out of that digital dome he was in. Apex was the ones
Right.
that
They
brought
did,
him
yeah.
out. I don't know if they brought him because they wanted him to find Hollow Earth. Hollow Earth, where there would
Right.
be more energy cubes. And then that's kind of why they brought Godzilla out, so that way they could say, "Oh, Godzilla's he's a menace, he's a threat. So we need these energy cubes to build this nuclear weapon, right, to stop him." And they go, "What do we need the nuclear weapon for if Godzilla doesn't bother us?" So they did something to Godzilla to piss Godzilla off. So then they can say, "Oh, now we need to get the weapons because Godzilla's here." So now there's an excuse to bring Kong out to lead them towards Hollow Earth. So Apex was
You know what I think they did? I think what they did was because Godzilla had a rival at some point.
Yeah, the skull crawlers, I
Another.
believe they were called. On Skull
Yeah.
Island, they had this things called skull crawlers that used to be Kong's rivals.
Right.
Yeah, so you get a little extra. You
So I
actually
think
watch
that.
if you actually watch the Godzilla movie and the Kong movies before this, they lead up to this. It gives you some extra information, which I need to put like Godzilla. I watched Skull Island, so I know his rivals back in Skull Island were the skull crawlers, and I know Godzilla comes from this island called Monster Island, I believe, and there's like all kinds of
Right.
monsters, and he's the king of the monsters, right? He's the top dog.
Right.
So history tells you he's the king of the monsters. He should smash on Godzilla because it's just another monster to him.
Yeah. That's why I was wondering if they got down before.
Yeah, but I know they come from two different islands because one's from Skull Island, one's from Monster Island. But this is
Huh.
man, the build they got down to business right away. In the first 20 minutes, they were, they made them face up against each other.
Yeah, they were smashing.
Yeah, immediately we got to the action scenes, the special effects, the CGI, it was awesome. I thought Godzilla looked real good. So did Kong, and you got the vibe that Kong was, older Kong already. And supposedly from Skull
Yeah.
Island, that was back in like the 40s or 50s. And in this movie, they're supposed to be in modern times. So it gives you an idea of how
Right.
much time has passed. Because if you watch Skull Island, they were back in the days. And in this one, it's like a lot of time passed since then. So I guess I don't know how
They put up a
Godzilla's
good
aging.
fight though.
Yeah, I don't know how Godzilla's aging works, but I think since he's a reptile, he ages slower than Kong, because Kong is a mammal.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, look
true.
at him right
Yeah.
here. Even the size you see, Kong looks kind of smaller than Godzilla. Look how thick Godzilla looks, how sturdy his legs are, and look at Kong's legs. You know, yeah. So immediately they
Right.
get into it.
He got chicken legs.
Yeah, yeah. They immediately get into it. Once they drop into
Yeah.
Kong lands a few sucker punches on them. Once they get into the ocean, I felt like it was a wrap. I go, Godzilla's like an alligator, right? Reptile and so forth. And Kong is
Right.
a monkey. I go, once they're he's like a gorilla. So once they're in the water, I was like, it's a wrap. Like Godzilla can't swim, he can't breathe underwater. It's over, right? So he got his ass handed to him pretty quick. Even though he got a few shots in, but he got his ass handed to him, and the humans had to save him. They brought him out of the water, and remember he was in the when they brought him out of the water, he was in they had these helicopters bringing him out, and they dropped him in Antarctica in the snow, and you see him passed out like he just got laid out.
Yeah.
Once we have Kong and he's in Antarctica where all that snow and so forth, we get back to the Bobby Brown being Madison and Josh and Bernie, the three wackos. What do you think about this group?
The Three Musketeers. I think they were up to something. I think they were like the guys that were still like doing their part on 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 stopping this from happening. On their own little way. Because all those guys had like they were all doing their own little research of their own.
Yeah,
Like they were up on game.
yeah, they were
Like they
like
were
this.
nobodies, but they knew what you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, they were the underdogs. They
Like
weren't
I don't know.
scientists. Yeah, they weren't scientists. They weren't soldiers. They didn't work for Apex. They were the underdogs. They were just like the team that had just a bunch of, how you said, a bunch of nobodies trying to just save the day, trying to be all up in the mix and shit.
Yeah,
I really like this team, even though I
but
felt
they had a lot of information.
yeah, I don't know, in a way, I felt like their parts
Yeah,
were kind of unnecessary. Like you didn't even need them in the story. They kind of felt like they were throwaway characters, but they were my favorite. As far as the
right,
humans, they were very entertaining. I had a blast
right.
watching the back and forth between Josh and Bernie.
Well, the Bernie, that dude, he had a history though. I don't know about the dude with the glasses, or the chick, but they all could have probably played a role in the previous movies.
Yeah, that's why I gotta go back and watch the other Godzilla movie because I know she said, yeah, like you said, her father was had something to do with Apex in the first Godzilla movie, I believe, and so I believe she was probably in the other Godzilla movie, but I'm not 100% sure. Gotta go back and watch it. Here we get
It's
back
been a
to
long time
Kong.
since they dropped him.
Yeah, we get back to Kong and the Antarctica. Now, when they're in Antarctica, they convince them to go through this tunnel that leads to Hollow Earth. They're telling him to go through it, and he didn't want to at first, but they tell him there might be more people like you over there, maybe your family, other kaiju's. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's like, all right, like, so he goes because the little girl, the mute girl, she convinces him to go. He trusts her. That seems to be everybody's go-to. Though, was the relationship
She's
between the
all
little girl,
into it.
yeah, between the little girl and Kong. That seems to be the part everybody liked. It's like the heartfelt moment because we got a little kid in the mix, so you root for those moments.
It's funny how like I'm laughing at it because you remember how that one bad guy had told that other female, Allison, I think you said her name was,
Yeah,
the one that talks to that mute girl, and he's like, oh well, tell him that there's probably other people like him over there,
yeah, yeah. And
and
she
I'm,
said,
I'm laughing about it because she's like, oh well, if I have her tell him this, and then she's like, why should I tell him this? And then she's like, are you sure? And then the little girl's like basically asking like, are you sure? And she's like, well, maybe.
yeah, I remember that part. Like, yeah, she was conflicted. Like, she didn't want to do it, but she knows that's the best thing to do is to have Kong go. If they don't lie to him, he'll freeze there and he'll die anyways. So they're like, hey, he needs to help us, but that'll also help himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that team, they were okay. I think her name was Eileen, but yeah, her. and I forgot the
Eileen.
new girl's name, but yeah, them two, they were an okay team. And the guy that was unlikable at first, they called him a coward for shackling up Kong. He had him
Right.
shackled. At the end, he becomes to be very likable, and he's helping them a lot. He's like really helpful with them, right? He's on their side. They were an okay team, and they were clearly more professional and knew more what they were doing. I just loved the other team a lot more. I felt they were a lot more entertaining. The Bobby Brown team with Madison and Bernie.
Right. Well, the guy that had Kong shackled up, he had a history with his brother. Remember how his brother had his mission had failed trying
Yeah,
to get through that
yeah.
hollow earth
Yeah,
tunnel.
yeah. Here, once they go through that tunnel, there's Hollow Earth already. They go through with the plane, and we got these monsters like they're kind of almost like vipers or like cobras, but huge, like Kong size, right? And they're clear. They immediately attack the ship. So you know you're in
Right.
Hollow Earth, and Hollow Earth is kind of like Skull Island, right? It kind of similar to Skull Island where there's a lot of monsters and so forth.
Yeah.
I noticed that too.
It reminded me of Avatar.
Yeah, right when they got there, right when they got there, I was like, they're clearly not in Earth anymore. They're somewhere else. Once they went through that tunnel, it's like they went to another dimension or something. Like they went to
Yeah.
another, yeah, they went somewhere else. It's not Earth. It's Hollow Earth. The gravity's different. The monsters are different. There's no like
Like
humans there.
I think after that whole tunnel situation, I think it went like almost like sci-fi, and it reminded me of Avatar the movie.
Yeah, yeah. I remember how Avatar has this like
Like all
strange
those
planet.
graphics in the forest.
Yeah, they have all this planet and so forth with all this weird
Yeah.
stuff going on. Yeah, the forest had a lot of glowing. What this movie reminded me of a lot was freaking Pacific Rim with all the ocean scenes and all the freaking forensic lights and so forth. I was like, man, looks like it looked more like Shanghai than I don't know how Hong Kong looks, but I know Shanghai's like a lot of lights and so forth. I go, that looked more like Shanghai than anything.
Right.
Yeah, but right here they're back to so that remind me a lot of Pacific Rim. I wouldn't mind a crossover with Pacific Rim and like maybe Godzilla or something with the kaiju's, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit was be sick.
Yeah.
So Kong,
This is a
so
good
Kong,
scene too
yeah, so Kong's helping the humans
with
with these weird monsters. I was watching this part where Kong's helping them, and again he gets his ass handed to him again. That's 2 times in a row he loses. Like these monsters
yeah.
just got him wrapped up. It's a wrap for him, and the humans are shooting missiles towards these monsters so to help Kong. So Kong's always being aided by the humans. So clearly he's on team humans. He's for the humans. He's on our side, and he's always losing though. It's like he's already old, washed up. He sucks. And I was like, I'm
He's
on.
getting
What's
getting beat up.
Yeah, yeah. He keeps losing. He keeps losing every battle. Who are you rooting for on this? I was like Team Kong. You know what I'm saying? And Team USA. Because Kong
Yeah.
is USA. Considers like the China guy, right? So I was like Team USA, and
Yeah.
he just kept getting his ass whooped.
Kong. He was getting his ass kicked all over this movie.
Yeah, yeah. He kept losing. Like the humans kept having to save his ass and save him. Like he needed their help so much to break even. You know?
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
man. It
almost
was.
unfair for everybody else.
Yeah, it's also I like how they made his beard gray to kind of let you know this isn't Kong in his prime. So so we had that going. So yeah, so then we find you find all these rocks, right? You all these rocks that are full of energy. So you're like, oh, that's the shit that we're looking for to power up this nuclear weapons they have planned. The Apex. You see Kong flying and kind of floating, and you see all these purple rocks like meteors. It looked like meteors to me. So they have all this type of energy that they needed a lot of energy to power up whatever weapons they got cooked up, right?
Right.
That part was somewhat interesting. Like you had these weapons, you had Kong, and I was like, hold up. All right, so yeah, so here's where Kong finds these energy cubes they've been looking for, and you're like, wow, now we know what this stuff they want is. It powers up. I guess this stuff is the same stuff Godzilla's made of. He needs this stuff to shoot fire or whatever. Like he gets energy from it, and they want it for this mechanical. They want it for this nuclear weapons they're building, right? we get back to the to Madison and her squad, and they find out what this nuclear weapon is. It's a mechanical Godzilla, right? It's like, oh shit! So that's what they
Yeah.
want all that energy cubes for. Like they want them to power up this fucking Godzilla, this metal Godzilla. What you think about the Godzilla? When I
Yeah.
seen it, I was like, holy shit just got real, homie. Like this is the real baddie. It's the real bad guy right here.
The Megacillion or something like that.
Yeah, Mega Godzilla. Yeah, when
What I did catch on this part was that they were using, I guess Godzilla had gotten into a fight with that three-headed monster, and I don't know, in the past, and I guess they were using like his brain or something, you know, to power up this thing. You know, that's why this thing ended up like becoming like on his own. You know,
yeah, also that yeah, cause
like
that
it took
three
over.
yeah, I know that the three-headed monster on in the Godzilla movie, this King Ghidorah. I saw that skull, but that
Yeah,
was King Ghidorah. I thought that was those crawlers from the Kong movie.
nah, it was
It was
that
King.
three-headed monster
Orale,
that
I didn't know that
Godzilla had
shit, fool.
killed, and
I didn't know that was King Ghidorah. I didn't catch on to that part. I thought it was the
yeah,
crawlers.
and
Oh shit. Yeah, because
no,
King Ghidorah is supposed to be a big bad in the Godzilla movies. He's like the top
and
dog.
they were using the brain, because I guess the brain was like, you know, I had three hits. I guess the brain was telepathic, and the other brains didn't have like a brain of their own or something like that. But the main head controlled the other brain, the other heads telepathically. So they kept the main head and try to control this thing.
All right.
When
Yeah,
they
yeah, because
powered it up,
when they power this guy up, he's like the Jaegers on Pacific Rim, where you control them telepathically with that thing. Like, have you ever seen Pacific Rim? They control the Jaegers the same way. And that's what this Godzilla is, like a
yeah,
Jaeger. He's controlled by humans, right? He's mechanical. He's not
right.
real. Now, fucking,
No, but that was the purpose of it.
yeah, but shit goes sideways only because
It went sideways on him.
yeah, because that shit was too
Yeah,
powerful. It fried the guy's brain, so that the mech got a mind of its own now, right? So now he's like, it's all bad. Like
yeah,
he's taking out humans and fucking kaiju. He's like, he ain't giving a fuck.
everything.
Yeah, and he don't. I thought the
And,
scene
and,
he
and
looked
this is why I
very.
tell you that this is what I think.
What
Yeah,
happened?
this is why I think that Godzilla was like destroying all the Apex. You know, like anything that had to do with Apex, because he knew that that shit was somewhere around. You know,
Right. Yeah, shit. Yeah, when I
it
saw
could,
that scene,
but
and I thought this was a scary scene right here. When he just roars up, I was like, shit just got real. Like, it remind me of, when they say Tony
oh
Montana takes
yeah,
out that big, no, it's Carlitos way, he takes out that big ass gun. He says, say hello to my little friend. I was like, that's how I felt here. Like, they took out that
yeah.
big fucking gun, which was the fucking Mega Godzilla. I was like, oh shit.
Well, he just real quick.
Yo, yeah, he took him out real quick. And here you see him, damn, that scene is cool right here
He
when you
took
see
the father out of the.
yeah, right here when you see the boss, what's his name? Walter, the
Yeah,
boss
he
of
smacked
Apex. He's
them
looking
out of
through.
there.
Yeah, he's overseeing the whole situation. He's all impressed with the mech at this time because the mech hasn't turned on them yet, right? He's like, yeah. And you see him looking through the window. You're just all impressed, like, oh shit. And so it turns out they're running
Yeah,
this experiment with the crawlers, though. They're letting one of those crawlers out just to see how the mech can handle them. So you see the crawler coming out, and
right.
the ragtag team is
Oh yeah,
running away from him. And you're right, the Mega Godzilla just took care of that real quick. The crawler didn't seem to be much of a match for him.
yeah.
Yeah, when I saw that shit was scary. 'Cause I was like, damn, like that crawler
That was
had no
nothing.
chance. And those things put up a pretty good fight against Kong. So right away it led me to believe, I go, man, Kong would have no chance against this robot. If he doesn't even have a chance against Godzilla, and this robot seems to be even more powerful than Godzilla. At least that's how it seems at the time. It seems like Godzilla would be its only match. Yeah, just leave it right there.
There's another scene right here.
Yeah. This is this is where Kong's walking around. You see all these energy cubes in this cave, and this is where Kong gets that axe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he goes. What you
Yeah,
said? He goes
this
out.
is the part where
Mm-hmm.
This is the part where he grabs that axe and reminds me of Thor.
Yeah, he goes out
Like
Thor
the
on
mighty
them.
Thor.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that when he got the axe. You know what came to my mind when he grabbed it? I was like, he sits down and he's holding the axe, and that scene reminds me. It felt like Conan to me when Conan has his axe and he becomes King Conan and he's just sitting down on a throne with his big axe. He no longer has a sword. That kind of felt like that with me with Kong, and I was like, all right, I
You're
go. He's
right.
been. So what I was thinking, I was like, all right, he's been depowered the whole movie. He keeps losing every fight, and I go, and I guess with his axe, now it's gonna make him more powerful, right? Like he's gonna be up on game now. Now he's gonna be a threat. Now he can actually hold his own with this axe. At least that's what we think.
Right, because well, yeah, because he's just a big ass gorilla, you know. Everybody else is a monster, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, fuck. Well, maybe with the axe now he has a chance. And it turned out that
Yeah,
axe
you
was
know.
like
I
a.
mean,
It turned out the axe was like some type of key, right? That when you put it somewhere,
right.
there's this hole in the floor, and the axe charges everything up, and the axe also gets charged up with energy, so you could pass the energy from one place to
Yeah,
another.
I also noticed there was like other keys or other items right there on the floor. Like I don't know if somebody in the past had came by and put them keys there at some point or something went down because it almost seemed like that was the last piece missing there. You know,
Yeah. When they got
that
that key,
axe.
you're right. When they got that key, it seemed like people. Obviously, somebody molded that key to be there, that keyhole and the axe. So it's like some type of previous generation had been there. I don't know if it's previous Kongs or some other type of species. Because I know in Kong Skull
Right.
Island, there was other Kongs back in the days, and he was the last one of his kind. But there was also these crawlers. So there was other tribes, other monsters, other groups, right? So we don't know who really set all that up right there in that cave. Could have been his ancestors.
Yeah.
There
Because
was
even
never.
Godzilla, didn't Godzilla have like a family too?
I'm pretty sure he did. He came from somewhere, but I
I
don't
think
know
he
if that's.
did.
I don't know if this movie actually covered, touched on that.
No, they didn't touch on that. No.
Yeah, because I know the island where Godzilla comes from is just a lot of different random monsters. Like there's not a lot of one race or one species or whatever, right? And I know in Skull Island there's like a
Right.
lot of crawlers. There's a lot of people like Kong. There's like whatever monster there is, like the serpents or whatever. There's a lot of them. And in Monster Island, from what I remember in the old movies, I think each monster is just like on its own. Like they don't have a lot of that same species. It's only like they're all individuals.
Right.
I think I'm not sure. I haven't watched those movies in a long time. And Skull Island is more like there's species, they're different races, right? There's groups, there's like tribes. But yeah, once they got when
Yeah.
that once they got that key, you saw some other little like bats or whatever come out, and they're just killing all the humans, and like nobody even gives a fuck. Like I don't know if you noticed that, like they just kill them, and we just move on. It's like the monsters don't even give a fuck about human life.
Yeah.
They're just it's like the main characters are the monsters. The humans are very throwaway characters. They're just extras. That was crazy.
There's extras. Yeah. The movie was about Kong and Godzilla.
Yeah, the movie's about the kaijus. It's about Kong and us. It's not about the humans. Humans are just there to kind of move the story along to give them a reason to meet up with each other. So once King Kong has that axe, a portal opens up, and you see on the other side of the portal, Godzilla's there destroying Earth. Right? He's destroying everything, and the
Right.
portal sends him back from Hollow Earth back to. It's like a dimension portal, right? Like you go back to the Earth, and you see here Godzilla just shooting shit up. When I saw this in my mind, I was like, "Oh hell yeah, Kong has the axe now." So now he's gonna roll back
Yeah.
to fucking. He's gonna roll back over there, and now he's gonna fuck up Godzilla because that axe is fully charged. He just charged it up. It's like now he has a chance. Now he's not in the water where Godzilla had all the advantages. Well, now he's gonna ready for round two, motherfucker. I got you now.
Right. Now
That's
you
how,
got the mighty Fierro.
yeah. Now he got a weapon. Kong got a cheat. Gotta go grab the arsenal and shit.
Yeah. You
It
got a
was
good
like,
one too. I mean, can you
yeah,
imagine the size of that axe?
yeah. That's a huge ass ass. Chop heads off with that motherfucker. That's you know what Conan does with his.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, it's King Kong, like he's a giant. Imagine like the size of that axe, you know.
Yeah, it's like a building and shit. Yeah, when he was going back, I was like, hell yeah, like go get this motherfucker. 'Cause usually in movies, like the usual trope is the good guy loses the first round, comes back stronger in the second round, and defeats the villain, right? So that's how it's coming off here. It's like, yeah, now he's gonna come back and hand Godzilla's ass. So they're gonna break even 1-1, right? But we clearly already got
Yeah.
exposed to this other Mecha Godzilla he's actually the big threat, right? But we're gonna see what happens with Kong and Godzilla. He shows back up to Earth and he just starts smashing on Godzilla. This felt
Yeah,
like,
he did.
man, this is the last two fights I was just pumped up for. I was pumped for this movie, dog. The last two times I was like this was when Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior on pay-per-view. I remember as soon as we ordered that shit, it's like, hell yeah. You had half the kids watching that shit like Team Hogan, half the kids Team Warrior, Team Ultimate Warrior, because both of those guys were so popular at that time. A lot of us were like Team Hogan. I was like 7 or something, right? 6, 7. Half of us were like Team Hogan, half of us were like Team Warrior. And like we were pumped,
Hey,
dog. We were
right here,
pumped. Yeah, and the same
right
with
here,
this
it
one,
had to,
I was like, hell yeah. I was like, hell yeah. And then
then
also
right here, it had to be in round 3.
yeah, and then also with which one else felt that way? When I saw Tyson, I was already starting high school. Then Tyson versus Holyfield, I was like, oh hell yeah, Tyson and Holyfield. Like Tyson had just got back out of prison. He's gonna fight Holyfield, and Holyfield was knocking every motherfucker out. So it was like it was on. You know what I mean? Those were like two big moments in like sports history to me. Like as far as where it's one guy versus another, right? Where it's not a team sport. And that's how this felt when Kong came back. I was like, yes, yes, you got the axe now. You got him, son.
Smashed on him.
Yeah, he came out smashing him. He came out hard off the gate. But then fucking Godzilla immediately started fucking him up again. I was like,
Yeah, you guys pretty good.
yeah, Godzilla started just rolling him up. I was like, what the fuck?
Because on this picture right here, Kong's got the screw you.
Yeah. I'm just looking at him like, fuck you. And Godzilla's just screaming at him like just barking at him, and Kong just like, motherfucker. Like, you
If I was
motherfucker.
20 years younger.
Yeah, when he was, yeah. Lucky you caught me in my 50s, homie. Look at my gray hair and shit. Had I been 28 and shit, 25, it'd be all, homie. Yeah, you see fucking
Not
Godzilla
fair.
just stepping all over him. Like, he just fucked him up again.
Yeah,
He's stepping all over him. And
even with the axe, yeah, and he
Yeah,
still
even-
gave him some love because he could have smashed him right there and crack his skull if he really wanted to, but he didn't.
Godzilla had fucked him up, or he could have killed him if he wanted. He just looked at him and walked away. Like, he looked at him like you're a nobody.
don't get
You're
it.
not worth my time. Like, you're not worth my time. He just walked away. And even when he left him there, they said that Godzilla's heart was slowing down. I mean, King Kong's heart was slowing down because Godzilla fucked him up so bad. He was basically already on his way out anyways. He's slowly dying. And I was
Right.
like, man, I was like, fucking Godzilla lost again. Like, he's been losing every freaking fight through the whole movie. And I think the fact that the way the script was written, the fact that they knew Kong was going to be getting beat up every time, I think that's why they decided to go with an older Kong. They're like, we're going to make Kong look too weak. Let's at least make him older so that way it's a valid reason. Like, he's losing every fight because he's old already. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, old and tired, he's
Yeah, I think that's why they decided to go with an old Kong. That way, you don't kind of ruin his name. You know what I mean? You don't throw dirt all over his name because you at least have that escape gate, right? Like, you have that way out of saying, well, he was old, past his prime, and it's an old Kong. It's not in his prime King Kong.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like we have been doing,
That kind of sucked though. Yeah, that kind of sucked for me though because I was on team Kong all the way, and he just kept getting fucked up. I was like, but all in all, I was still having a blast watching the movie. It was still a lot of action. It had enough story to get just to vaguely explain why they're fighting, why they're meeting up. No real important reason. It was kind of dumb, but at least we had an excuse of why they were meeting up. Because the humans were just there to kind of tell you the reasons why things were happening, right? But the movie was about the monsters, and And really, the excuse was just Apex wanted it to be assholes. They don't care how many people die. They just want to build this fucking robot. Pretty much. And here's the robot fucking Mega Godzilla. He's out on the streets now. You know, monster let loose.
You see, at this point, you know, when Godzilla and Kong, you know how they named the movie Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah,
Then at this point, it didn't make any sense no more to me. Like yeah, this fool's got down like 3 rounds, you know, at different times.
yeah.
But now they're gonna get down with this fool, you know.
Yeah. But that's any movie. If, like me, I read comic books. I don't know if you read comics. Every time a superhero fights another superhero, they're always gonna fight twice or once or twice, where one wins and the other wins. So that way they both won and it pleases both fan bases. Or they're gonna fight once and it's gonna end in a tie, and then the real villain's gonna come. Because neither one of them is gonna ever be the villain if they're both good guys, right? So you're always gonna have
Right,
another person come in at the end, and they're gonna team up against that person, right? So this
right,
was to be expected. Every time there's team ups, every time there's one guy like Batman versus Superman, you know they're gonna end at a draw, and they're gonna go fight the villain. It's always gonna happen. It's a top. They're never gonna have one guy be the villain or the other, or one lose or the other, because they gotta please both fan bases. So that was very predictable. Like we knew it was gonna happen, but we did get the fight. Like where the fight didn't end at a standstill. We got a very clear winner. Like it was obvious Godzilla won.
yeah. Godzilla
So
whooped
so
that
we got
ass.
their fight. I think us as fans, we got the fight. We didn't get no bullshit chicken shit way out where they ended a tie. We got a clear winner. Even though it wasn't who I wanted,
Yeah,
I was rooting for Kong. I was rooting for Kong and Godzilla fucked them up. But at least we got a
yeah,
winner.
yeah,
So I like that they made it clear Godzilla's more powerful than Kong. So that we don't have these. I like debates and all that, but I do like that they weren't scared and just went where they ended in a tie. We had a winner. And then after, yeah, you're right. You got the big bad comes out, Mega Godzilla, and they're gonna fight this motherfucker, and now he's the clear villain. Even though during the course of the movie, it was pretty obvious to me, at least, it felt like Godzilla was the bad guy the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like
yeah.
Godzilla was the bad guy, and Kong was the old underdog.
But I think that's like I think that was like where I feel like they set him up. You know, they set him up for failure. You know, because they trigger him for him to think that the assumption is what I'm assuming that King Kong or Kong was the enemy because they had those crawlers somewhere in those boats, you know, in that area.
Yeah,
So he went over there, you know,
yeah, you're
he went
right.
over there and started, you know, he went over and started a fight with Kong because I mean he knew something was up over there, but I mean I don't know if that's because I remember in a part that they were able to control like I don't know if Godzilla is able to like predict or like sense like his enemies or whatever it had to do with Apex, you know. So I think with him going over there, I think that's why he was going over there to try to destroy those night crawlers or skull crawler things, you know. But he wasn't able to do it because you know I don't know if they had a beef with Kong in the past, and he's like, oh well, this was my enemy. Let's get down, you know.
Right, right.
It could be, you know.